Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live about organization. I have Anna Willis here with me from They Call Me Blessed. She is sort of an homeschool organization guru, so I am super excited to have her. And be sure to let us know where you're from, where you're joining us from, and also let us know if you have any questions. We'll be sure to get to them if we have time. I am really excited to walk you through this with Anna because she actually lives in a very tiny spot. And she's a Sonlight homeschooler. So she definitely has some skills here. Anna, why don't you tell us a little bit, welcome, first of all, and
Thank you.
About yourself.
Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. So I've been a Sonlight homeschool mom for the past 6 or almost 7 years now. So it's been always our passion to talk about Sonlight and share about Sonlight with other homeschool parents. And it's funny because when I started with Sonlight, I lived in a 6-bedroom house, and now I live in an RV.
That's awesome.
We love the freedom of not having stuff and just be able to go anywhere we want anytime. So right now, like, we're just finishing our American history curriculum, and we're getting ready to travel all around America. So we're super excited to actually go see places and learn more and explore museums and monuments and parks and all of this stuff. But yeah, so I love homeschool organization, and I can't wait to tell you guys a little bit about it. I know on the Sonlight blog, I have a few posts there that I shared a few tips and tricks with Sonlight readers. So yeah, I'm ready. It's so exciting. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for joining us. So tell us a little, so you live in an RV, and can you tell us a little bit about your family and your homeschool?
Yes. So I am a homeschool mom of 3 kids. My kids right now are 7, 9, and 11. So when we started Sonlight, my son was in kindergarten. So we started with Sonlight kindergarten, and we did Core A. That time we still called Core A and Core B. And so we started very, very young. And Sonlight has given my kids an amazing love for books and for reading. And one of the hardest things actually moving out of a big house was actually to part with a lot of bookcases and a lot of books. So all of our bookcases now, I don't know if I can see it, but it's basically resumed in these little cards here with books and a bookcase that we have in the kids' bedroom. I have more books too hidden all over the RV, but yeah, I'll tell you later. But we are a missionary family. We lived in different countries for many years. We have settled now in Canada for the past 8 years. So we have a passion for mission, a passion for the gospel, and this was what really attracted us to Sonlight, and a passion for books. So that combination, mission focus, gospel focus, and great literature focus. So that's how it started. My husband is an avionics engineer, and we were both in full-time ministry. So what else can I say? And I lead a homeschool blog, a homeschool community, as theycallmeblast.org. And we have an amazing mentorship program called the Homeschool Sisterhood, where we help each other. We over 230 moms there, and we help each other. And one of the things that we love the most to do together is book clubs. We love reading the books together and discussing the books together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us again. Tell me a little bit about how you prepare for your week.
Oh, it's with Sonlight, it's so easy. What can I say? Okay, so for my week, normally on Sunday night, this is when I get all my materials separated and put and set apart for the whole week. It's pretty easy because with the Sonlight Instructor Guide, all I need to do is to take the tabs off whatever weeks. Normally, what I do is I get my big binder and I take off the next 4 weeks. So the next 4 weeks. So I don't do it like every week. I do every 4 weeks that I get everything that I need out, and I start separating my books. So all the lessons that I need are here. I don't have to plan. Sonlight does the work for me. All I need to do is go through the list of books and make sure that I have all the books that I need next to me. So I got, all the books that I'm going to need next to me, which for me, living in an RV is awesome, because one thing that I've learned is that I don't need to keep everything around me all the time. I just need whatever I need for that month. So I can put things away in the kids' bookcase there. They have a little bookcase. I can keep it there. My big Sonlight binder actually stays in my bedroom, right above my head, basically. Well, in a cabinet, closed, of course. I keep it there, and then I just have to open and take the weeks that I need off, separate and get the books, and it literally takes me less than 5 minutes. And I separate also the science for the kids. So that's all I need to do. That's all I need to do. So when I hear moms like in my community saying that they spend like hours in their summer or whatever planning for homeschool, like my heart just stops, like, I'm like, why would you do that?
Right.
It's just so easy for me, just grab what I need, and just basically, like, it's not even every Sunday, it's once a month. On Sunday nights, I just look and see like how many pages we need to read still, but it's so simple. I love simple, Stephanie. I believe that simpler is better. So the less you have to do on your own, the better will be for you, the easier will be for you to homeschool.
Boy, I think every mom loves simple. I do too, for sure.
Yeah, and for the kids book, whatever they're using, what I do, which is, it just keeps it super simple, is I have a magazine how do you call it? A magazine holder, right? I have a magazine holder where they got like their spelling, their math, whatever they're using for that week for science. I just put it inside. They all have their names on it. So I got 3 kids, and that's all it takes. It's 3 magazine holders. And then I have my books next to me in another magazine holder and my binder, and that's it.
Very good. Very good. You pull them out when you're ready.
Yeah, that's it. And then I keep all of our books, all of our readers, and read aloud here. The kids have other readers here that they can pull and read in the morning, anytime they have some quiet time, or in the afternoon and read. So we keep things very, very simple.
Very good. Very good. Tell me a little bit about how, or I guess, do you set homeschool goals for the year?
I do set goals for the year. I do. I think it's very important that we have a general goal for our homeschool. And for our homeschool this past year has been American history and Canadian history. We really had to focus on living in Canada, but also preparing for a trip. That's been a big, big goal for us. So as much as we could read books and also add documentaries or anything that we can do, parks, guides, that we could have it together. So we have a general goal for the year, whatever that direction is for you. Then I have separate goals for my children. Each one of them, I see where they need more work on, and I see where they're going really, really well, because I think it's important for us to focus as much on their strengths than it is in their weaknesses. And then I set some goals for them. So let's say for the youngest one is to be reading completely independently. That's the main goal. For the oldest one, who is gifted with science and engineering and all those things, is to bring more of those things for him to explore, right? Just to keep him hungry for it and keep him learning in that area. So I think that it's really important that we do things like that. And also that we have goals for ourselves as homeschool moms. I think that's important. For the mom who's feeling burned out and overwhelmed, then she needs to make a priority to have some mother time, to have some self-care time, to have some time to, just get refreshed, to get renewed. And I love this Sonlight gives you the flexibility to play around with Instructor Guide, because I can do 6 weeks of homeschool and I can stop for a 7th week and rest and relax. And then I can pick up where I stopped and just carry on like I never stopped, right? Without feeling behind, without feeling like, oh, we're not going to finish this year. And we can spread it out in like 12 months if you want to do homeschool year round, or you can just do it in 9 months. It's up to you. So it's very flexible. So that's another thing to plan for flexibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We always talk about self-care and how as moms in general, we don't do it. So even if it's just, praying in the morning with your cup of coffee, meditating, reading your own book, anything like that, we encourage.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I like to get my nails done, but that doesn't happen.
Oh, it's going to happen for me tomorrow. I'm so excited. But, I never thought how important self-care was until I burned out completely. So 4 years ago, I literally burned out. I ended up at the hospital multiple times. The last time I was in critical care, paralyzed from head to toe for 3.5 hours, only to find out that I had a major panic attack.
Oh my goodness.
And that was all due to stress and exhaustion. I didn't know exactly how to pace myself. And I was still working full time as a pastor while I was homeschooling 3 kids. And life was way too busy. I was spinning too many plates. And that's why I mentioned to you at the beginning, the simpler, the better. Because when you keep things simple and when you have clear goals, you're not wasting time with things that are just going to burn you out. You keep simple and you keep focus, and you have margin to breathe. You have margin to take care of yourself. So that was a huge learning curve for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the instructor guide. We did get one question and they want to know how Sonlight plans the lessons. So maybe this is a good opportunity for us to talk about the instructor guides and how those are planned out for you, and specifically, Anna, how you use them.
Yeah, that is a great question. Some people can get a little bit overwhelmed when they look at the instructor guide, because guys, is this thick, right? So they can get a little bit overwhelmed, but it's an open and teach. That's all you need to know. So Sonlight takes the time to put the whole curriculum together for you, all the history and Bible literature for you. And if you opt for the science and language arts too, they put it all together, and they keep, which I love it because I'm a big Charlotte Mason educator. Like I love her method of education, philosophy of education. So Sonlight keeps the lessons short. And they curate the best literature that goes along with the topics, with the themes that you're studying. So that is super important. Then I don't have to go and piece the curriculum together myself. Sonlight does that for me. They break into lessons for me. I don't have to do it. I really want to pull my hair off when I see moms like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go away for 3 days this summer so I could actually prepare all my lessons. I'm like, why would you do that? Like Sonlight does for me. So I'm just quickly gonna share here. This is like, we're finishing up still our school for this year. 1 more week to go. Although I'm actually going to Toronto tomorrow, so my husband's going to have to finish up. But so basically, I'm going to show you guys here the instructor guide. And you see that the day starts with Bible right on the top there. I need to kind of see it. So you got your reading from the Bible. Then you got the student reading. They do on their own. So one, you do the devotional on your own. Then the kids will do it. Then we're going through the American Indian Prayer Guide, which is pretty cool because we've learned so much about North America, Native Americans. Here we call them First Nations. In Canada, we can't call them Native. We need to call them First Nations. But we've learned so much. And then there's always verse that you're memorizing throughout the week, and you listen also the CD with the song. And my kids, like, they remember songs that we memorized all the way from like Sonlight A till this day. And then history and geography, so it tells you exactly what pages to read, what books and what pages. And then you got your read alouds and you got your readers. Now, our read aloud, normally I actually do before our history and geography, because we do as part of our morning basket. So we have them in the morning basket. We finished our Bible and we just jump into our read alouds. And then we do our history. The other thing too is that you don't have to do things in the order that they are here. So that's something that doing Sonlight, we really learn to use this on our favor, and it's a tool that is done for you. So if my kids really love a book, I can go and I can read all of that at once and just mark it done. I don't have to do a little bit every day. Or I can do this for bedtime. It doesn't have to be during the day during homeschool hours. Or I can do this on the weekend and still get it done. So you do not have to feel overwhelmed and do everything on the same day. Another thing that I do too, sometimes I do all my science in one week, and then I do another week just history. I make it work for my family. And that's the beauty and the flexibility of the Sonlight Instructor Guide. It's all planned for you. It's all like bite sizes for you, but you got to play around and see how it works better for your family.
Very good. Yeah, no, totally. We like to say that it's flexible enough that anyone can use it, but structured enough that you can just open and go. So
that's it. Yes.
True.
I love that.
Yeah. So you just talked about flexibility. I was going to ask you about flexibility. Do you have anything else to add about flexibility? Like, how do you flex you said you're still sort of teaching. Do you do like a, 6 week, do you do the 6 week on, 1 week off, or do you just kind of listen to what your family needs?
I do both. I plan to do that, but I listen to my family needs and my own needs as well. So you have to be in tune with your body. We had an unfortunately situation last year. I lost a baby, and followed by 13 weeks of complications. And we had to slow down our homeschool. And instead of doing 1 week in 1 week, it was taking us 2-3 weeks to do it. And it's okay. We need a plan for flexibility. We moved 2 years ago across the country in the middle of the year, and I had a plan for flexibility. And that's why I do not do planning like people do and put everything in pen, written in a planner. I don't even have a planner. I never had a planner. My instructor guide is my planner. And because I know that life happens. It's a child that gets sick. It's you that, you're going through something and you need to slow down a little bit. So you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible with your homeschool year. You have to be flexible even during the week. Like I just told you, I just came back from a doctor's appointment right now. So we haven't done school this morning yet, although they did a little bit on the way home in the car. But we didn't do school in the morning. We got to do it in the afternoon. So it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Wherever it fits.
Whatever it fits. Yes.
Do you have any tips for anyone who's transitioning to Sonlight for the first time? So we know that a lot of times this can feel overwhelming. Like you just held up the instructor's guide and said, this is how we use it. Are there any tips that you'd like to share?
Yes. Keep it simple. Don't look at the whole picture, because otherwise sometimes looks overwhelmed. If you do the small bites like I do, separate what you need for the next 4 weeks and just focus on that. It's gonna look so much simpler to you. And again, cue to your kids' wants and needs. If there's something that they're really loving, like I remember when we start reading like Pedro's journal, we couldn't stop. There was a lot of books that we have read with Sonlight that my kids just did not want it to stop. It's okay if you want to read more and of those books. So you're gonna find the balance. You're gonna find the rhythm. So don't be too concerned of following exactly the way that you see in the Instructor Guide. Just stay within those pages. It's good because it's, how can I say? Well, they put it all together so it all fits, right? The read aloud, the readers, everything else. But they also give you flexibility, and it's okay for you to find the rhythm that works well for your family. And again, just keep focusing like 4 weeks at a time. And the if you think that it's too much reading for one day, use it for bedtime or use it for the weekends. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be everything on the same day. So know that you have that flexibility. Keep it simple and keep it flexible.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people will read while, they're making lunch or while their kids are eating lunch. Sometimes they use the reading for quiet time and they sort of change it up. We do our read alouds at night before bed. So we do that. It's just, I've always read to them at night before they go to sleep. And it's just something that we still do. So that's when we do it.
We do the same here. We do a lot of like bedtime stories.
Yep.
Or just when we are driving someplace, like we live an hour from town. So if my husband is driving, I normally have a book in my hands and I'm reading to the kids. And sometimes it's that same book in audiobook format. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's totally acceptable. Sometimes you need to give your vocals a rest. So
yes.
Awesome. We did have a question, and this isn't, you're just using one core for your 3 children. Is that correct?
I do.
So tell us a little bit about how you structure teaching multiples. I know that there are a lot of people and a lot of advice, and I can certainly post some of those blogs later after we're done, but that use multiple cores. But tell us a little bit how you organize the multiple, teaching multiples.
Okay, so basically in our home, we use one core for all 3 kids. My youngest is 7, so she's not the same level as my 11 is, but she catches on a lot of things. So what I do is she still goes through all the lessons with us, and I don't require her to do as much as I require my 2 oldest, my 9 and my 11-year-old. So for example, we use a lot of narration with her. She listened to the stories, and then I just let her narrate back to me. I ask her questions, while my kids will be actually doing more like notebooking, writing things down, or drawing, or whatever it is. So you can still, like, I love Sonlight because it's still flexible enough that you can do that. And I don't have to split myself in 3 every time I have to teach my kids. So Bible, history, geography, literature, science, always together. And then on their little thing, they will have their own math, their own spelling, whatever they have, their explode code, whatever they are working on. So what I do is my 2 oldest are more independent. They can sit in their room. We have a little table for them. They can do their writing or their math or whatever it is, while I sit with my youngest one and give her more attention. Then when she is done, then I go and I correct whatever work that my 2 oldest are working with. So it makes it very doable if you have multiple children. We haven't felt the need to work on 2 cores with them. So far has always worked well with my youngest coming along and studying with us. But if I know that we're going to jump to F, I think we're going back and doing C now, but then when we go to F, it's going to be too much for her. So then I'll just work on a different core with her. But right now it's still going well.
Yeah, no, don't put more work out there for yourself, for sure. Make it as simple as possible.
Yeah. And let the youngest one color or build with Legos while you're reading and while you're teaching the oldest ones.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the details of your homeschool. Where do you homeschool? Do you homeschool where you're sitting right there? Or do you homeschool sort of all over?
We homeschool kind of all over. We homeschool a lot on the sofa right behind us there. So all Bible reading, everything is just history. It's sitting there. Then we have the table where I'm sitting right now, and the kids have a sitting area in their bunk room. So they can sit there and they can do their schoolwork. We also have a little, we have a picnic table outside, and the kids can sit outside. So it's funny because we live in a 366 square footage place, but we still feel like we have space enough for them to, gather when they need to do their quiet work, especially for math. They like to do their math quietly, or the language arts, but mostly we're sitting together here. We have a clubhouse, so we can walk to the clubhouse there too. That's what we do normally on rainy days, because when it rains in an RV, it makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So normally we just pack our books, we go to the clubhouse, and we just sit there. We do our reading there, and there's tons of space, and there's a piano for the kids to play the piano and practice their piano as well. So
very good. So here's another question that I often see, and sometimes we don't think about. It's not something that we at Sonlight can necessarily put in the curriculum, but how do you teach organization? So you know that your kids are going to, because as they get older, they are a little bit more independent in their schooling and then obviously in life, but how do you teach that?
I think, Stephanie, that habit training is one of the most important things that we can teach our kids in the early years. And the habit of order is a big thing for us, especially living in a small place. They need to know that there is a place for everything, and keeping it simple. It's so easy for my kids to throw their books when they're done in a magazine holder than for them to go look for the right place to put in a bookcase. So keep it simple for them as well, right? If they need, like, I have the little, well, this is the washi tape, but I have little containers like this that I get at the dollar store, and each one have their own color pencils and everything on it, and I have their names on it. They're using in the bedroom now. So they will have little containers to keep all of their pencils and pens together. Keep it simple, and keep it organized. Another big thing that I want to talk about, and I know a lot of moms want to go like, la, 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 la. They don't want to hear declutter. Because if you have too many books and too much stuff that you don't use, it's useless and it needs to go. And it's just accumulating dust, and it's making it more difficult for you to be organized. So whatever you're not using, either like put it someplace in a storage, because that's a good way to see that you really don't use it and get rid of it. But keep it just what you use around you. And you're going to see that it's way less things. And it's so much easier to organize.
Yeah, very good. Janelle, she's the subject of some of our videos on our YouTube page, but she walks through how she sets up her house, and she takes all of the books from previous course and puts them on a bookshelf in the basement, and then only keeps what she's working on for like 4 weeks, accessible in her kitchen. And that's how she stays organized. So I think I think it's important that you do have a little bit of decluttering going on.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I think I've seen her videos, and one of her videos she's showing, actually, she has like the plastic container, the see-through containers, and then she put her binder with the lessons for the next week, and then she has all the books in one container. So it's easier for her just to take it off, open, use what she needs, put everything back, and put it away in the cabinet in her kitchen, I think, or their schoolroom. Yeah. And it's just so simple. So find what works for you, but again, keep it simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about where you're storing the extra books, like not the ones that you're working on.
Okay, so in my kids' bedroom, so we remodel our RV. I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram or Facebook, but our kids' bunk room, we have a wall with 2 small bookcases and a sitting area for them. So everything that we're not using right now, it goes to that sitting area. But here's the rule: if we do not touch it for the next 4, 5, 6 months, it goes to the book sale. As much as we would love to keep every single book with us, we can't possibly keep them. And it was so sad. I was just telling you, like last Saturday, we just had all of our books, including our Sonlight K. And I got to look at all my kids' like handwriting when they were tiny, and all of those things in grade 1 and grade 2. And just, it was like, but I kept thinking to myself, I can't keep everything. So I told the kids to choose their favorite books. They chose their favorite books. And as a listener, you can pick 2 or 3 each one, no more than that. And because there's like, we love like Mrs. Pigglewiggle and all of those books that we read together, and Charlotte's Web that we read like I don't know how many times. But I told them it's time for us to gift other children with those books so they can have the same gift that we had of reading those amazing stories. But basically, we just put things away in their bedroom. And when I decided, okay, we really need to pass this along and just give it to somebody or take it to the book sale, our annual homeschool book sale or here around the area, then I just put everything in a plastic tub and I keep it there underneath our storage area until we're able to go and donate it or sell it. That's what we do. So we just take it out of sight, out of mind, first of all, right? So, yeah, I think it's a good elimination process in a way.
Very good. So let's talk a little bit about, or this will be, unless you guys have any questions, let us know. But this will be like the last question. Tell us a little about how you organize your household. And by that, I mean like meals and chores. And well, you already talked about clutter, so we're good there.
Yeah. I'm a big anti-clutter person.
Yeah. So I think it's like eating an elephant when you think of everything you have to do during the day and then still manage the household at night. So tell us a little bit how you do that, or how you do that.
I do have something that I've learned from one of my business mentors years ago called the Ideal Week Schedule. And I actually have a blog post where I give away the template for it. So what I do is I have my day planned, but again, I allow for flexibility because I can get that whole chunk of homeschool time and just switch it to the afternoon if I need to. So basically what I do is we all do chores in this house. There's not a day that no one is involved in it. Everyone helps. Same. Get up in the morning. Yes. Get up in the morning, make your bed. That's always the first step. Because I believe that if you leave your room with your bed made, with everything picked up, whatever it is from the floor, and you're changed, you're dressed, and you brushed your hair, brush your teeth, your house already looks like way clean and organized and tidy. I always say like there's a demon attached to mess because it drives me nuts. Sorry to say that, but it drives me nuts when things are all over the place. I really, for my brain to work, I need to have things in the right place. So I like to keep things organized. Our meals, we plan our meals. And what I do is that Sunday night, I do a big inventory of what I have. Then I plan my meals with what I have instead of just planning meals and have to go shopping for other things. And now that we're in RV, we can't do freezer meals as much as we used to do before, but we can still double batch our meals so we don't have to cook every single day. So anything that you can do to make your life easier, do it. Yeah. If you can, double batch whatever you're making for dinner tonight, then you're going to have dinner for another night ready that you can just put in a container, put it in your freezer, and it just make it simple like that. My kids are very independent, so I do recommend you help your kids to teach them to be independent as soon as possible so they can eat their breakfast by themselves. If I'm still doing my devotional in my bedroom, they can make sandwiches. My daughter can make pancakes, and they help. They help. So it's not everything on my shoulders.
Which is so good. I mean, We're super moms, but We need a little help every once in a while.
Yeah. And getting rid of clothes too.
Yeah.
So think about moving out of a house. Moving out of a house where you have a walk-in closet to then have like this much of a closet space and getting rid of clothes. We do laundry every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah.
It's a huge difference. We don't have that huge amount of clothes that we had before. And we just do a lot less laundry now, which is fabulous. I love it.
Constantly doing laundry. That's one thing. I taught my oldest to do laundry. So she does the laundry. I mean, for the most part, she's excellent at it. Sometimes she needs a little bit of help. But I was like, this is not on me. You need to learn how to do this.
Yeah, and they do. They totally learn how to do it. Yep. The other thing too, we don't have a dishwasher either. So you use it, you wash it. So
yeah, that makes sense.
And I just spend like months now where I keep saying like, this is my audiobooks and paper plate season, and I'm good with that. So
yeah,
it works for us. But basically, that's how our homeschool day goes. And because I work from home, I have working hours. So I separate a block of hours that I work from home, and it just makes everything so much easier.
Yeah, very good. So I want to just say that we talked a little bit about the IG, and you can download a free sample of the IG at sonlight.com/IG. Instructor's Guide. Sorry. Same thing. One and the same.
I know. We keep saying IG because we're so used to it.
It's the Instructor Guide. So yeah, if you go sonlight.com/IG, you can download that. I will put a bunch of links in the comments here. I'll link to Anna's blog and website. No, I'll link to your book and your blog. Yeah. And then I will also post a bunch of links that might help you within your organization as you embark on a new school year. And is there anything else? Is there any other advice I didn't ask you, Anna, that you'd like to provide them?
No, I think this is pretty good. We talked about keeping simple, decluttering. Make sure you make containers easy for your kids to storage their books when they're done, so they can put it away at easy. They're not going to find it's too hard to do it. Focus in 4 weeks at a time. Keep like a smaller binder that you can put your lessons and your map. And also on the back, I have like the readers and the read alouds that we are reading through. I get their pages and I put it on the back as well. But just keep it simple. Simple is better. Simple is better. It just removes a bunch of overwhelm if you just focus on that little bit instead of way too many things. And help your kids to be independent.
Yeah.
Teach them to be independent. That's so good. And if you think there's too many books that you need to read, use it for bedtime, use it for the weekend, and it's okay to sneak in an audiobook once in a while. You know, like we've done Charlotte's Web in audio. We've done so many others in audio before. We love audiobooks, and it's okay. The kids will open their book, and with the book open, they're still reading it, but they're listening at the same time. And Mama can wash the dishes while they're doing that. Mommy can, sweep the floors while they are doing that. Or I can take a nap. But don't tell anyone.
I love it.
I just lay down on the sofa behind them quietly, and they say, Mom, are you sleeping? No, I'm just closing my eyes for a little bit and just carry on, listen to the story. It's a good excuse to take a nap. So.
Yeah. We just finished Cricket in Times Square, and by we were halfway through, my oldest decided she wanted to do the read alouds. And I was like, here you go. Sure.
That's awesome.
Us, which was good. So
yeah, one thing that we've done here is that to get them excited about reading aloud is to tell them to make up the voices.
Yeah.
And they will come up with the funniest things, and they thought it was hilarious, and they loved it. They just loved it. So Yeah, why not? So get them excited about doing the read alouds themselves.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Anna, and thank you for sharing your organization. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you who are listening. So thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.